Hey, my creative friends. I'm Shannon from Shannon Studio, and I come and talk every day about something creative, something that brings us closer to living a creative life or making a mind shift to be able to have a creative life, maybe managing our time or our resources or our home better in order to be able to spend some time doing creative things. So we'll just start off tonight. We've been on vacation, so it's been really kick back, and for the last few days. So I just now don't want to do anything. You get in that mode where you're not doing anything, and it just feels good to relax. And so I kind of don't want to do anything. But I have this. We have something at church. After church in Sweden, they call it fika, which is coffee and treats, usually a pastry. So they're going to have fika after the church meeting because it's Christmas and to socialize a little bit. So they just asked people to bring stuff. And it was like, oh, I don't want to bring anything, it's just more work. And then I thought, no, I'll look up some recipes. I'll look up something I want to try. I'll see maybe about adding a little decoration into it. And then all of a sudden, my whole attitude shifted from I have to make something to, oh, I get to try some new things. Oh, I want to make something. And I think that goes through a lot of our daily lives as moms, that we have a lot we have to do. And we can look at it that way, or we can just add an element of fun to it. So that made me, when I thought of element of fun, it made me think of a spoonful of sugar, because that's where that phrase comes from. And I some of the lyrics that the Sherman Brothers did. It says, in every job that must be done, oh, look at that. In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap. The job's a game. And every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake. A lark, a spree, it's very clear to see that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. A robin feathering his nest has very little time to rest while gathering his bits of twine and twig. Though quite intent in his pursuit, he has a merry tune to toot. He knows a song will move the job along, for a spoonful of sugar helps medicine go down. And so I thought about that, how many times I have taken that, just adding an element of fun changes my perspective in the thing I'm doing. Now, sometimes people think, oh, I'm just trying to do something just to show off. They could think that. I know some people have made comments, but when you're doing it for yourself, their comments don't matter, because you're doing it for yourself. It's like, no, I want to do it because I want to have fun in the things that I'm doing. And sometimes I have to do things because I choose to be part of my kids' school, or I choose to be to contribute to like Sunday's treats or food. And so I want to make it different because several reasons. I'll read you a few quotes that talk about the happiness and joy. So Ingrid Fattel Lee, her book Joyful, says joy's power is that small moments can spark big changes. Tiniest joyful gestures add up over time, and before we know it, we have not just a few, I didn't even write it right. We have not just a few happier people, but a truly joyful world. So she's saying it just adds up. You do little things. It doesn't have to be a big thing. I'm not changing on a large scale what I'm doing. I'm just giving it a little twist of fun. Another one from the book, The How of Happiness. Some of the changes produced by small boosts of positive emotion are small, and some are big, but they add up. Positive emotions truly make you into a happier person. So if positive emotions, of changing my attitude about something that I'm going to do and adding an element of fun to it, changes things to be a positive emotion and it makes me a happier person, what if I stay in that, oh, I have to do this, oh, this is another chore, oh, this is drudgery, oh, I can't believe I have to do this. If I stay in that mode, doesn't it make sense that that is negativity building up and making me a more negative person, I think there's some validity to that. So sometimes when we have those, especially at this busy time of year, it's like, I have to do something. Turn it around and see what you can do to add a bit of fun in it for you. Add that little spoonful of creativity to help that little medicine go down. Here's other quotes that I wanted to just share. Andy Warhol says, you need to let the little things that would ordinarily bore you suddenly thrill you. And ways to do that, I think one of the ways to do that is to just, when you're looking at something that you have to do, think of some little element you can add to make it fun. It doesn't have to be big. So for me, for instance, I decided I might try out a dessert board, because I haven't done very many dessert boards. Instead of just taking a tray of cookies, I thought, okay, what if I did a dessert board? And then I thought, well, what if I add this little decoration to it? Sometimes it's simply putting a tablecloth on the table and maybe a little centerpiece that doesn't have to be a big deal. It could just be the flowers, some flowers that you bought. It also can be table decorations, just maybe a new presentation. It can be changing the place. I remember when I went to the Michaels Makers Summit, they had invited several people, 50 people, to come and enjoy 3 days of creativity. It was so fun and so creatively filling. But one of the things I remember was that it was on the California coast, and we ate our meals a lot of times, except for breakfast, I think, which we could, outside. We ate meals outside. We did it on pillows, we did it at a table, but it was just like this element of different and fun added to our meals, and it just made it a little more special. And so just take your meal outside. It doesn't, what I'm trying to say is that just a little bit of fun. It doesn't have to be a big shift. I was listening to Tessie Faye, she's another window designer, and I was listening to her weekly video, and she was talking about how she came home from vacation, and they were doing, it was the first day back, and she was doing all the mom things, and it was like, get this done, get this done, get this done. You know what that is like. And she said something about how her 17-year-old daughter put on music, and all of a sudden it shifted the dynamics of what was happening, and they started dancing and laughing and spinning, and just by turning on music. That doesn't take a great deal of energy or effort. It takes a little bit thinking differently. It takes a little bit of creative thinking. It takes a little spoonful of creativity. So a lot of times, if you just add friends, invite somebody over, and there's lots of people who are lonely, or who don't get out, or who are always the ones hosting, or something like that. So invite friends. Think of small ways that you can add creativity to make the things you need to do fun. Here is the last quote. Oh, there's a story that I was going to say about there was this writer, Australian writer poet, and he wrote a London play, and it failed big time, and his family finances hurt from it, his reputation hurt, he lost some friends, and he was totally depressed and dejected, and just sat on the couch for days and a very long time. And then finally his girls came to him and asked him if he would paint their bikes, and he says dutifully he did it, but not joyfully. So his name's James, so I don't know why I didn't write his last name down. James. But so he sat down and he started to do it. And as he started to do it, he started to do more things to it. He was, this process was happening in him where he added sparkles to the spokes. He added the barber, twist thing on it. He added stars, and he kept adding hundreds and hundreds of stars. And his daughters were delighted, and they went riding off. And then the neighborhood kids saw, and they started bringing their bikes over. So he had tons and tons of bikes to do. And he said something that was happening within him. He said, he said something was coming back to life in him. The creator had returned by doing something else and doing it with all his heart. He had tricked his way out of the hell of inertia and straight back into big magic. So it's kind of like he tricked himself into it by involving himself, by making it a little bit fun, by continuing and doing. And then this is the last quote from Elizabeth Gilbert that I wanted to share. She's specifically talking about people having a regular job in order to have time and space for creativity without making the creative project be what supports her. So she hasn't, she's talking about all these people who have jobs on the side and then do creativity. And though she's speaking about specifically, I thought this was kind of tied into this idea of taking a spoonful of creativity, a little bit of element of joy and fun to it. She says, people don't do this kind of thing because they have all kinds of extra time and energy for it. They do this kind of thing because their creativity matters to them enough that they are willing to make all kinds of extra sacrifices for it. So if your creativity matters to you, if making some joy and happiness matter to you, then find small ways. Sometimes we think creativity has to be this massive thing, and it doesn't. It can be the small elements of, today I'm going to have dinner outside with my family. Today I'm going to add music. Today I'm going to, something. You tell me some things that would be little things, not big things, but little things that would help us to add an element of fun into what we're having to do. Maybe tell me what you're having to do lately, where you're going to make a shift to be able to add an element of fun so it makes it more fun for you. So that is the tip today. Spoonful of creativity helps our medicine go down. Looking for an element of fun. The Mary Poppins song, 1964. So remember, you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it. And I will be back tomorrow. Bye.